Hey everybody, welcome to what is going to be part 4 of upgrading DrupalEasy.com to Drupal 9. I'm actually doing this one solo. Our office hours, our normal office hours for Drupal Career Online students, we were packed with questions, and so we didn't actually get any time to work on upgrading DrupalEasy to Drupal 9 this week. So this is the weekend, and I figured I'd get a little bit in and make sure I keep the cadence going of trying to get one of these up every week. So today we're going to do something. It's not technically upgrading DrupalEasy to Drupal 9. It's kind of something I've been wanting to do for a while. So this is kind of like a little side journey. But for me, it's something I've wanted to do, and that is to switch my code base to use the new core-composer-scaffolding plugin. So what does that mean? What am I talking about? So I started this site, this Drupal 8 site back years ago, and it is hosted on Pantheon, and I started it using a Pantheon supplied template, composer template, that was very similar to the Drupal project, Drupal Composer, Drupal project composer template that so many people have used in the past. And it basically was the same thing as that Drupal Composer, Drupal project template. Let me show you that just so github.com/Drupal Composer. There it is. So this is the template that so many people have started their Drupal 8 projects on before Drupal 8.8 came out. So that's what my project is based on, but it had some extra Pantheon stuff as well because it was hosted on Pantheon. So my goal is to basically remove this requirement in lieu of the new modern Drupal Core. This is maintained by the community now. It's actually part of Drupal Core, the Core Composer Scaffolding tool, which is a lot more efficient and a lot more flexible than the old one. So this isn't necessary to go to Drupal 9, but it's something I want to do. So technically, this isn't really on the path to Drupal 9, but I want to do it, so we're going to do it. So that's the plan. So just taking a look at things. So we know we're going to get rid of this, and we're going to remove this dependency, and then we're going to add a different one. And if we look down in the script section, like all of this stuff, create required files, Drupal scaffolding, this is all from the old one. And then, this is from the old, I should say current one, the one I'm currently using. And then there's some other scripts in here, but these scripts all have to do with if you're using a dual repository model for Pantheon. So I actually just went through and I looked at each one of these, and I have realized I don't need any of these for my project anymore, which means I also don't need to add the script handler script to the autoloader. So I'm going to be able to get rid of all of this, and I'm going to be able to get rid of the actual script handler file as well. So I'm going to clean out a lot today, and it shouldn't be too bad, but that's kind of the goal. And in order to keep Pantheon compatibility, I'm going to actually add, I did a little research before I started, and is it this one? Yeah. So Pantheon has a Drupal integrations plugin. And this was kind of exactly what I was hoping that I would find. So when you host on Pantheon, there's a couple of extra files, scaffolding files that you need. And this composer dependency basically works with the new core scaffolding plugin to provide them. So if we kind of go into assets here, you'll see that there is a default services for Pantheon. There's a drushlock update. There's a settings.pantheon. This is kind of the important one. And then if you don't already have a settings.php, this is the initial settings.php, but we're not going to need this one. So we're going to add 2 dependencies. We're actually going to add the core composer scaffold, and we're going to add Drupal integrations while at the same time removing Drupal composer, Drupal scaffold. So I haven't even practiced this, so we're going to see how it goes. So I'm going to, if I do a git status, I am on Drupal 9. I'm clean other than my notes document. So let's just try, I'm going to go into my container here. So I'm going to go up one directory. I'm going to clear it all out so we're clean. I'm going to do a composer remove Drupal composer Drupal scaffold. And how about I put a slash instead of a dash in there? So I'm going to remove this first. Oops. Let me put my curve. There we go. So let's see how that goes. Okay, so it looked like that was removed. And just for the record, I'm going to cut out these the long breaks. This does, when you do a composer remove or composer require, it does take a few minutes to run. So I'm going to remove those from the recording since I'm the only one here, just to make things go a little bit faster. Okay, so that is now out. So I am going to delete all of this. And I can actually delete, is there anything down here? Yeah, there's some stuff down here I can delete as well, but I don't believe I need any of this. We have Git if we need to get back, but let's get rid of all that. I don't need this stuff. This is, again, I'm using a single repository. I'm committing dependencies. So this was all extra stuff that the Pantheon template added. And this is all the old Drupal scaffolding stuff. So I am just going to just delete it all, which kind of scary, but good. All right, so that is all deleted. I'm going to do a quick composer validate here, make sure I don't have any trailing. Lock file's not up to date, but that's okay. Okay, I don't have any syntax errors. I'm always worried about, missing a trailing comma or something like that. All right, so now let's do a composer require, and let's add our two. Actually, we could probably just add, well, here, no, let's do them separately. So let's do this, and also the core composer scaffold. I never know the best place to copy this from, but I'm just going to grab it from up here so I don't have to type it. And let's let that run. All right, so yeah, I goofed. I should have specified the version for Drupal Core Composer Scaffold because I ended up with version 9 and I'm still on 8.9.1. So we're going to have to do a composer remove Drupal / core composer scaffold. And you can see it actually, well, it went ahead. Did it actually put them in the right place? There's my web directory. Yeah, no, it actually put all of my scaffolding files in the wrong place as well because I didn't configure it. So that's one to grow on. So we're going to remove core composer scaffold here real quick. And while that's going, so what we failed to do is, because it runs automatically, let's go ahead and add in the, where am I? This is the old one. Get rid of that one. All right, core composer scaffold, we need, there we go, that's what we need. We need to specify where the web root is. So let's go, well, unclass, oh boy, okay, well, let me just, let's do one thing at a time here. So let's add this, Drupal scaffold. Okay, so this will actually put things in my, if I set it for my web directory. So I'm defining the web root as the web directory. So when the scaffolding tool runs, it'll put the scaffolding files in the right place. But we've got a class, Drupal Composer plugins are not found in, so it's looking for something. Let me go up higher. Removing. All right, so I think after it was removed, it was still trying to it was still trying to run. I think I took all that stuff out, right? I think it was still trying to run. So I think it's actually removed. Drupal Core recommended is still there, and my pantheon-systems thing is still there. So let's just try re-adding it. I don't think this is anything that we have to worry about. So let's do a composer require. And in this case, we want 8.9. Oh, and I have a mistake in my composer. Oh, there we go. That's what I'm saying about these trailing commas. Composer or JSON is very specific about that. Okay, let's try that again. Let's make sure we get the right version this time. Okay, looks like we got 8.9.1 this time. So, and it's copying my scaffolding files. Not all of them though. Look at that, I got readmes, but I did not get, I didn't get like the index.php and stuff like that. So they're still there, but why didn't I get all of them? That's an interesting question. So let's do this. Let's, well here, let's go back to documentation. So we added the web root, and I believe we can run this on its own. You'll see down here there is a command, not file mapping, we can ignore locations, managing. Let's see, there's a way to run this directly. There it is, composer Drupal scaffold right at the very top of the documentation. So let's just try running the Drupal scaffolding command. Okay, so nothing changed. I wonder if that's because I already have those files. So let's try that. If I come over here and I delete my index.php, save delete, sure. No, just delete it. Didn't I say don't look? Pretty sure I did. Okay, so now if I do composer Drupal scaffold, do I get it back? Oh no. So what did I do? What did I do wrong here? So we have core-composer-scaffold. File get contents. Well, let me exit out of this. Get status is going to be a bit of a mess because we got a bunch of extra. We have all of our. Oh, did it actually install? It actually created. Oh boy, what a mess. Yeah, so I think it actually created empty modules directory. So the scaffolding tool did allow. All right, let's clean all this stuff up before we do anything else. Okay. So a little bit of a mess, but we can get through it. So give me 1 second, and I'm just going to drag a Finder window over here. I think that will be easier. Okay, so here's the Finder window, and if I close up my vendor directory, what are we going to get rid of here? You know, all of these that are in the root. So here, I've got a little tool here that I can, there we go. So lint, not, get attributes, yes. htrouter, htaccess, install readme autoload, install all these readme autoload, example git ignore, index, modules, profiles, robots. So it's an important lesson before you install the core composer scaffold, make sure you put the configuration in, otherwise you'll end up like me. Sites and themes. So again, this is all stuff that ended up in the project root and not in the Drupal root. Update. Okay, that one. Okay, I'm going to leave these vendor files. So update web.config. All right, let me throw those in the trash for now and see where we are. Get status. Okay, so I'm gonna copy get checkout. So let me check out that. Get status. Why can't I? Oh, sorry. I should listen to the instructions. Git's telling me exactly what to do. Git reset head web index.php. That gets me that index back. Git status. Okay, so where are we now? So here's the git status. So these should all be modified because I removed some stuff and I added some stuff. So these are all deleted. I added core-composer-scaffold. I added pantheon-systems, and now I'm getting all these new readmes, which I don't necessarily want, but I'm not convinced. And we can take care of these. We can configure the new core-composer-scaffold to not copy all of these readmes, which is exactly what we're going to do. But what I'm a little bit concerned about is whether or not when I run this, I'm not seeing. Okay, so it put editor config and get attributes in the project root as it should, and it did copy. Okay, so maybe it is working. I guess it does a diff between what's in the assets directory and what's in the actual project, and it only copies those. So I didn't realize that the core composer scaffold is doing that, but that's what it looks like it's doing. So that is all good. This tells me I probably don't need editor config get attributes in my web directory, which makes sense. So I'm going to get rid of this, delete, and get attributes. Is there anything? So this is 61 lines long, and the one outside of the web root is 6. So they look to be the exact same file. So I'm going to get rid of this one. Delete. All right, so I'm feeling better about this now. Okay, I'll do a get status in here, even though it'll take an extra second or two because of Docker. But I think we might just about be there with the basic stuff that I wanted to do. I am going to customize this a little bit. So I guess while that's running, let's just talk about that. So, I believe it's Pantheon. Oh, actually, what we have to do is we have to add this. So when you're using the Pantheon Drupal integrations, you actually need to add a little bit more configuration to your Drupal scaffold. So let's go ahead and do that. So comma, paste. So this basically tells the Drupal scaffolding tool that pantheon-systems / Drupal integrations plugin is allowed to make changes to our scaffolding files. Okay, so how do we look now? Good, good. All right, I think we're in really good shape. Ultimately, we're not going to have web get ignore. I don't think we exampled that get ignore. We're going to get rid of that as well. Well, maybe I'll keep that one. Yeah, I think I will keep that one. But these .txt files, I do not need those. All right, but since we changed this, let's go ahead and run this again. This might change some things. Yeah, so this copied our drush lock update. This makes it so we cannot, drush will not allow us to try and update core with drush. And this updated our settings.pantheon file. And I guess the other one was the same. So if I do a git diff, now I'm curious, websites default settings.pantheon, like what are the differences there? So updated the Pantheon version, so not anything huge, but probably just some minor refinements. So that's good that we have that, and that will be automatically updated now. So that was one of the things I really wanted to do here. Okay, so let's do a git status again. And while that's running, let's go back to, so we're done with the Pantheon system stuff. Let's go back here because one of the things the Drupal Composer scaffolding tool allows us to do is dictate which scaffolding files we want or don't want. So we are going to basically be able to exclude scaffolding files. So all of those scaffolding files, those .txts and those readmes, we're going to exclude those. So I'm going to copy this little bit of configuration, and I'm going to come here, and I'm going to do a comma and add that right there. And I'm just going to go right down the list, and I'm going to say that install.txt. So this basically says copy this to this. So in other words, copy nothing to install.txt. So I'm going to make a bunch of, copy that a few times, and we're going to do readme. I think we decided I'm going to keep the example. But then this is going to be module/readme, and this is going to be profiles/readme, and this is going to be sites readme, and this is going to be themes readme. And get rid of this and that trailing comma. So this will not delete them if they already exist. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to manually delete each of these. So we have install and readme. We're going to delete those. So this configuration just ensures they will not get re-added. And then in my modules directory, I'm going to get rid of this. And then my profiles directory, I'm going to get rid of this. And then in my sites directory, I'm going to get rid of this. And then in my themes directory, I'm going to get rid of this. And we can take a look here and see if there's, let me close all these just to make it a little bit easier. I mean, this web.config, I believe this is for Internet Information Servers, I think. Yeah, Windows Server. So I'm pretty sure I don't need this. So you know what? Let's get rid of this. If it breaks, we know what we have to add back. Okay, so robots.txt, I don't think I have any changes in that. Any customizations. I don't have any changes in htaccess. So everything else I think is good. What's this license file? I mean, this is all. Yeah, okay, I don't need this anymore. We're just doing some cleanup now. What's this license? MIT license, we'll hang on to that. It's probably a good idea. Pantheon.yaml we need. And I do use all this stuff, so we're just going to leave that the way it is. Circle and GitLab. This is all if you're doing that dual repository. So, wow, I'm definitely in cleanup mode here. Drush lockup, that's what I added. All right. Oh, and we talked about how we can now also remove this, because that was all old stuff. Okay. All right, so we'll save that. Let's just do a composer validate, make sure we didn't break anything. All right, it's not up to date with the latest changes. That's fine. We're going to take care of that in a few minutes, but let's run our scaffolding command. And it's going to skip, settings.php because it already exists and we're not telling it to overwrite. So that's good. So we should probably be on the lookout for if Drupal Core update in the future modifies the settings.php just to make sure that ours is up to date. But that's something we would normally have to do anyway. So let's do a composer update -- lock, and that will sync up our lock file with our composer.json file changes. So that'll take just a moment. All right. So we got some deprecation notices, and now if I do a composer validate, look good. Drupal libraries, Drupal pathologic. Okay, that's fine because I'm still using dev versions. All right, I think, well, I guess we can, one thing we can try is, where are we? Let's just exit out of this and do a ddev launch. Make sure the local site is still running. That's probably a good idea. And it is, so here's my local site. Oh, actually, I already have it up and running. Come back over here. Upgrade stat. I'm not even going to bother with this because we didn't do anything Drupal 9-ish. Let's go over here to, this is all the same. So I think we're in fairly good shape. So I'll make this, let me close this. I'm going to actually remove this from our list. That feels good to get that done. I've been wanting to do that for a while. Let's do a git status. Oops. One more time and see what we have. All right, we definitely have changes to composer files. Definitely to our vendor stuff. We definitely removed the old one. We did modify, or we didn't, but the new Pantheon Drupal integration plugin did modify settings.pantheon. We added these files. We added these two dependencies. We added a web.getIgnore. Other than that, everything's the same as it should be. So let's do a git add composer.lock, composer.json, vendor, .drush lock update, .editor config, .get attributes, if I can spell, and web/example. Let's try that. Oh, did I spell editor? Oh, editor config does not have a git add .editor config, no dash. Git status, are we all green? What did I do a git? I tried to git add. Oh, did I forget vendor? What happened there? Git status, git. All right, for some reason those first ones didn't take. So git add composer.json, composer.lock, websites default settings.pantheon. I'm not gonna do them all the same. Okay, git add.drush lock update .get attributes, and then web example.getIgnore get status. Okay, how do we feel about all this? I think we feel pretty good. We're on our Drupal 9 branch, so I'm going to be able to test this on Pantheon before I do anything. So git commit swapped out old scaffolding plugin for the new Core 1 plus Pantheon integration module, or plugin, I should say. Git status, git push origin Drupal 9. And this should push to Pantheon. So I'm going to open up my Pantheon dashboard, dashboard.pantheon.io, in another window here. So there's not going to be much to look at for a second. I'm going to log in and get past all my client sites before I share it with you. Okay, so let me just drag this over to, let's say, here. Okay, so we'll go to multi-dev. Okay, so here is the commit. So if I visit my Drupal 9 site, kind of misleading, but whatever. All right, it looks like it's running. So while I'm logging in, let's go ahead and just clear all those caches. and copy, get this. So this is going to be drupaleasy.com. This one, copy. Not now, never. All right, so things appear to be pretty good here, as they should be. I don't really expect otherwise. We're clean here. I think I'm just going to go ahead and merge this and everything. And that works. And let's go to a podcast page. That seems to be working. We'll go to one more. We'll go to the new Composer Basics workshop. How about that? All right. Yes, I agree. Okay, fantastic. I think that works. So offline, I'm going to, you don't need to see me merge this and push this to production, but that's what I'm going to do next. But I think we're done. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you got something out of it. And if you are still using the old scaffolding tool, hopefully now you will get some confidence to go ahead and update to the new Drupal Core Composer Scaffold tool. All right, thank you very much for watching.